Have you ever wondered who the strongest demon slayer to ever live was? Not the strongest Hashira, not the strongest human of his era. The strongest demon slayer in the entire history of the series. That title belongs to a man so powerful that even the king of demons could never forget him. His name was Yoriichi Tsugikuni, and the truth is, the more you learn about Yoriichi, the more unbelievable his existence becomes. What makes Yoriichi so fascinating isn't just his power. It's that his strength almost felt unnatural, as if he had been born specifically to end demons. Yet, despite his overwhelming power, Yoriichi lived a life filled with tragedy, loss, and loneliness. To understand why Yoriichi is considered the greatest demon slayer who ever lived, we need to start from the beginning. Yoriichi was born during a time when demons were spreading fear across the land. His birth alone shocked everyone around him because, unlike ordinary children, Yoriichi was born with the demon slayer mark already on his body. For most demon slayers, awakening the mark requires extreme training or surviving near-death experiences. But Yoriichi had it from the moment he was born. It was as if fate had already chosen him. This alone made him different from every other warrior who came after him, but that wasn't his only ability. From a very young age, Yoriichi could see what later generations would call the transparent world. This rare state allowed him to perceive the muscles, blood flow, and movements of his enemies with perfect clarity. To Yoriichi, combat wasn't chaos. It was mathematics. Every movement was predictable. Every attack had a pattern. Every weakness was visible. While most warriors needed years to sharpen their instincts, Yoriichi understood combat almost instantly. And as he grew older, his natural talent only became more terrifying. One of the most important contributions Yoriichi ever made to the Demon Slayer Corps was the creation of the original breathing style, sun breathing. Before Yoriichi, the breathing techniques used by demon slayers were far less refined. Yoriichi developed sun breathing as the foundation for all other breathing styles. From sun breathing came the many techniques that future generations would use. Flame breathing, water breathing, wind breathing, all of them were ultimately derived from Yoriichi's original style. In many ways, every demon slayer who fought after him was using a shadow of his techniques. But perhaps the most famous moment in Yoriichi's life was his encounter with the king of demons himself, Muzan Kibutsuji. Most demon slayers never even survive an encounter with Muzan. But Yoriichi didn't just survive, he nearly killed him. When the two finally faced each other, the battle was incredibly short. Yoriichi moved with such speed and precision that Muzan barely had time to react. Within seconds, Yoriichi had already cut through Muzan's body multiple times. For the first time in centuries, Muzan experienced something he had almost forgotten: fear. Muzan realized immediately that Yoriichi was not a normal human. He was a warrior capable of ending him permanently. In a desperate attempt to survive, Muzan split his body into hundreds of pieces and fled. Even though Yoriichi managed to destroy most of them, a few fragments escaped. And those fragments were enough for Muzan to regenerate. That single moment would haunt Muzan for centuries. The memory of Yoriichi terrified him so deeply that even generations later, Muzan still reacted with fear whenever he saw anything connected to sun breathing. It wasn't just the defeat that traumatized him. It was the realization that someone like Yoriichi had once existed. What makes Yoriichi's story even more tragic is that despite his incredible power, his life was filled with personal loss. His own brother eventually became a demon. His family was taken from him. And the Demon Slayer Corps itself eventually turned against him, blaming him for events that were beyond his control. Despite saving countless lives, Yoriichi lived most of his later years in exile, but even time itself couldn't weaken him completely. One of the most incredible facts about Yoriichi is that even at over 80 years old, he remained unbelievably powerful. When he finally encountered his demon brother again decades later, Yoriichi was already an old man. His body had aged. His strength should have faded. Yet even then, he still moved faster than most warriors in their prime. In that final encounter, Yoriichi managed to strike his brother with incredible precision. But before he could deliver the finishing blow, something unexpected happened. Yoriichi died standing up. After decades of battle, loss, and wandering, the greatest demon slayer in history passed away quietly in the middle of combat. His opponent survived only because Yoriichi's life ended at that exact moment. Even after death, Yoriichi remained legendary. His techniques shaped the entire Demon Slayer course. His battle with Muzan changed the Demon King forever, and his legacy lived on through the sun-breathing style that would eventually be rediscovered generations later. Perhaps the most incredible fact about Yoriichi is simple. He was the only person Muzan Kibutsuji ever truly feared, not the Hashira, not entire armies of demon slayers, just one man, Yoriichi Tsugikuni. A warrior so powerful that even centuries later, the king of demons could never forget his name. And maybe that's why Yoriichi remains one of the most legendary figures in the entire world of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, not because he was the strongest, but because his existence proved that even the most powerful demon in history could feel fear. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.